This is Missinipi Dene on MBC.
Dorot esalote MBC Dene Neurot Asejan Saskatoon ki Dene hiring lot Resisjan language conference note Dene Sasidmuk Abi Kuisan Dene Salheta Jeresh Short Isam. Aboneh Hulia dat Dilacosia Benanote na de Conto Dayusia ko Bonnie Rogers Hulia Sa Jeresh Short Dene SICC Hill Alana Chuatayal Tirutasia Sinyesi Bonnie Donsaltin Dilanade.
So still there, couldn't.
Said the Asant Ile, Horel Yandi John, Danatharnin Delu, Nuyat to awaken the language, Bazi, Bagantani than do Danelki Danadesti.
I think it's amazing that there's this many people. I think we have over 500 so far, and there's still a little bit more registering. So it's amazing to see people are here and they care about revitalizing their language.
Yarte Norus Curry, Jeresh Janet Inola, Tlahu, Ayorti Karintera, Jeresh Nanoze.
I left when I was 19 and went to school in Regina and worked in different places, and now I'm working here in Saskatoon for SICC.
Nes in YouTube in Yatia and Elkidanadonist Hanim, Ayor Regina and Ted Julius in a pile of bones.
Yes, I was working at the Friendship Center and I got asked to teach beginner Dene classes. It was during COVID, and that's why we ended up making those YouTube videos, because of COVID. I'm planning to get back into it soon, hopefully, but a lot has happened in between that time, so now I'm coming back and starting again.
Kudri lahun tone SICC help bel alaina. Tlanti lahun tona.
I work in the language department. I'm a language and education technician. So what we do is we support the Indigenous languages in Saskatchewan. We help with resource development, curriculum development, writing, workshops, any way we can support the communities with revitalizing their language, we go out there and help them.
Dene nanote, dene communities. Kunti yat hidorel in isit ho se kunti bel alataha. Tantuni yat he na Italia, bet aniteha, nu yat he tlanti ya hon liang kunti isubazi.
We have those, like I said, the curriculum. We have a library as well, which has a lot of things that not a normal library would have. We have a lot of community archives, so like interviews with elders or any type of community events. They'll take some recordings and stories, they write it out, so you can access those kinds of things at our library. And then we have our teaching sacred curriculum. There's something called mentor apprentice books. So if it's for like two people, if there's someone who is fluent and someone who is a learner, they can partner up and teach each other the language. The mentor teaches the apprentice. We have books for that to help guide you. There's a lot of resources. I just started in September, so I'm just still learning a lot of the resources that we have. And then everything on our website, on the SICC website, you can go on our catalog, you would see for all the languages. We have like posters, flashcards, books, video, CDs, everything on there. So you can buy it, or you can go to our library and take books and things out too.
Asnadi duhu shanu halda nailo the azi dene gode tanto asata ya estholio ha tanto estis tu alialini then toniat here not sariha.
From what I'm learning, it's the way we naturally learn language. So I haven't been around home since I was 19, but if I was there and I'm around it every day all the time, you naturally, if you pick up on it. So I think we need to be in those spaces where we have those fluent speakers and our learners. It's kind of like, they call it like immersion, but it's just the way we grew up in our home. You only hear Dene. It's kind of like, if we can create a space like that, no English, and we have someone there speaking and they're doing actions, showing things as they're talking their language with no English, the person who doesn't know, they'll eventually pick it up on their own naturally. And that's how we naturally learn language in our home. We didn't have our mom or dad or our Haman Haba with a paper writing things out saying this is how you speak. They just talk to you, and you end up understanding as you watch and listen. So I think if we can have those spaces where we have that fluent speaker and the learners and nothing else, I think that's the way we're going to be able to get those fluent speakers again. And it doesn't have to be stressful about writing or reading. It's just to be around it all the time and hearing it.
Tot I conference nuhunt workshops to asia. Danenin tele tant utanade athe da reach are but anuat here the health hausa will move forward.
I believe so, because these people that are here today that are presenting, they're sharing things that they're doing in their own community, and then we can learn from each other. Like maybe we should try something like that. It doesn't have to be like just one way is right. But I think as we come together and we see these new ways of doing things, we can try it and see if it helps us back home, because some of them are trying it already and it's working for them. So I do think it's important that we gather and share knowledge like that and help each other.
Ani kore nila dane orest are an nadede athu dane tlasit danade athu yathi hilchu hanasni asise an nadede ide sequestration get danadaro ni no edila no heldest isim dealt oira to de athi do ekeside elt hirola Yannis yathi do dado si adonusni danarasise konto no yathi lag oi Johnson de althi naita aliaolio Yannisote deneni yathi.
For that, I need your help to explain it to me a little more in English. So
the old language, the elders that they talked with back in the day, I used to hear them. I kind of forgot about it. And now when I hear the elders talk, some of those words, they come back to me and it rejuvenates my language. It revitalizes it. So I think that's what it means. That's what they're talking about. So those elders, do you think to revitalize, to rejuvenate that old language?
Yeah, I definitely believe in that, because I know what I'm learning working in this job. Some of our language are old words, because I grew up too, my grandparents with old people. Some of the words, they're getting shortened or changed. And I think it is important to try to keep that original way of speaking, because one word can have so many meanings, and it might change over time as you change it. Like, for example, sometimes people will say orini, but it's orini. Things like that, there's some things that are getting shortened and changed. So I do think it is important to keep that older language there, the original way we were speaking. But I still want to encourage speakers, no matter where they're at, even if some words are being shortened, as long as they're trying and speaking. But I do think it's important to keep the original way. I don't know if it's the original, but the way the elders spoke.
O bazi asnade nute niorel inanua tio bazi tanto hosel karole.
Well, I know like different cultures have different like protocols. Me growing up, you build relationships with people in your community. That just means like talking to them when you see them out at any events, wherever you are, store, clinic, anywhere in your community, talking to people and building those relationships over time. That way right now, because I've had that since I grew up, I've tried my best to be friendly and talking to people. And then I know I can phone home and there's people I can call and count on to help me with my language or with anything. But that's part of building those relationships. Or sometimes I learned that if you're going to approach an elder, and you ask them for help and you give something in return, sometimes they say give tobacco. You can do that too, but you can also help them with things they need at their house, like chopping wood, doing dishes, chores, whatever they might need. You can do stuff like that too if you want to build that relationship to help learn that language and be with that elder or that speaker. So it's kind of like doing things for them too. And that's the way I would think. If I were to go ask for help, I would try to give back too and not just taking.
Don't asinont are clampets and then clampel curiti durit nu at here that at a here. Nuanat a glolas and edeculu or in jalant edeculu. Don't asinont are clampets and then who are we directing the revitalization of our language?
I think it's to everybody, because before I used to think just let's focus on our youth because they can pick up things easier. But as I'm learning more and more, it's not the case. Anyone, any age, if they really want, they can learn their language. So I feel like this is for everybody. Whereas before, as I'm learning, I used to always be focused on youth and young, even babies in the belly, even starting there. But now that I'm learning more, it's for all ages. You can learn your language at any age, because some people think it's too hard or they're too old or it's past. It's not the case. Based on research that has been done that I've been reading about, any age can learn their language if they really want to. And it helps to be in that, like I said, when you're only around the language. And I'm reading some interesting things, and I can't even say the specific name of the research, but I read one research paper. They said they did a 20-minute exercise. There's a fluent speaker came in, and they were putting a pencil on a table, and they were saying what they were doing in the language. And the non-speaker who didn't know nothing, he kept doing that over in 20 minutes. He didn't know one word in the language. By the end of that 20 minutes, he knew how to say you're putting the pencil on the table in the language without any English present around. So I was really surprised by that research. I was reading about that. So there's lots of hope. So if people are thinking it's too late, it's not too late.
See, Bonnie Rogers, question was correct. Then go there to Dant Hayurel E. If they want it, we are here. Dant O Betanhil Aule Yorel Iha. What can we do to motivate people to want to speak the language?
Well, our language is tied to who we are. If you really start learning more and more about the language, you learn the way for example, I'm Dene, so we would learn how we see the world, because our words have so much deeper meaning, and it gives you a sense of belonging and identity. And I don't know, I feel at home when I hear someone else speaking my language. Like you sitting here today, it's been a long time since I even got to sit with someone like you speaking fluently to me, and it just feels like at home. It gives you a really good whole feeling to hear it and to be around it, and you feel close, like that's your relative, because you're speaking the same language. You can think the same way. Because sometimes you'll hear, they're thinking in Cree, or you're thinking in your language. Because if we translate into English some of our stuff, it's because we're thinking that way. It's not the same as a Western way of thinking. Like my haba would probably say, close the lights. That's an example. But in Dene, it's like he would say turn the lights off in a different way. But in English, he would say close the lights. Things like that. I don't know. And then just to encourage people, if not only because it's tied to your sense of identity, it helps your self-esteem, your confidence. It gives you a sense of purpose, of knowing who you are. And when you know who you are, you feel like you have a purpose. And I think that's a huge part of wanting to learn your language. And our Creator, God, gave us each a language. So I think we should think about that too, is that our language didn't come from anywhere. Our Creator gave it to us. And that's sacred.
Wise words. Bonnie Rogers.
Merci.
MBC Beauval 94.1 FM.